This program is sponsored in part by the National Catholic Society of Foresters. And welcome to Looking at Social Justice, the Diocese of Fresno's effort to feature and celebrate people who are committed to bringing social justice not only into their own personal lives, but into society at large. I'm your host, Jim Grant, and today, my very special guest is Sandra Kaye, who is the president and the founding CEO of St. Francis Homeless Project, Inc. Sandra will be telling us all about this fantastic, very original, and very, very exciting program of rehab, of recovery, of wellness, of second chances for homeless women, many of them veterans, many of them having had very difficult lives and now brought to a new possibility thanks to St. Francis Homeless Project. Sandra, it's a joy to have you on the program. This has been something we've been thinking of doing for months. Can you tell us a little bit more about yourself and how this came to be, this wonderful program of recovery for the women that you have come to love as daughters?
Thank you for having us, or myself here this morning, Jim. The St. Francis Project was actually born by a viewing on television, and I saw people freezing to death in New York, and the only thing keeping them warm and well was actually their dogs. So I simply Googled dogs helping homelessness, and only one thing came up in the country, and that was a culinary kitchen in Lawrence, Kansas, at a school, and they were actually helping these people get work skills by baking all natural dog treats. And I thought that was a pretty clever concept. We're not a shelter, but it gave me the opportunity to take women that are in recovery from our mental health care systems, and I got the concept of employing them in a culinary institute out at Clovis Institute of Technology, which is where our kitchen and culinary experience takes place. The women are trained and in culinary skills, as well as marketing, shipping, packaging, and we give them a second chance to give them a hands up to get them employed in our community and back on their feet. So that's what the project is pretty much like, except for now the product has become very popular in our retail locations in Fresno, and the dog treats are blowing off the racks, and the women are getting jobs left and right, and the program feels good, and they're doing a great job.
Now, who would be some of the supporters of this? Because I'm seeing you, this has to have some expense to it. There's got to be some funding. What's going on to make this all happen?
Well, actually, we are getting close to being self-sustaining with the dog treats. We have 121 retail locations now, and one of the major retailers is looking at us to put our product into the store. But my thanks actually goes to Monsignor Winzinger and the Catholic Campaign for Human Development, who has funded us and helped us to and mentored us to get this program off the ground. We're only 10 years old, so a lot of people have gone through the program, but without the support and help of the Catholic Diocese and the CCHD, we would not be here today. They've helped us a lot.
And you might want to mention something about Teresa Dominguez, who turned out to be, I think, the one who championed this along.
Yes, actually, I'm sure that everyone thought I was a lunatic in the beginning, but I actually came to the diocese and brought a bag of all natural dog treats and presented this to Miss Dominguez, and then I heard back from her about a year and a half later that Bishop Ochoa had an interest in this kind of no-nonsense, simple approach to helping women in recovery and to giving them a second chance and a camaraderie in a kitchen. And it's just been a wonderful voyage.
We're going to meet 5 of your great women.
Yes, sir.
So before we see or hear any of them, do you want to tell us about the general type of person that you are working with at this wonderful St. Francis Project?
Actually, the women come to us after they've gone through the mental health care programs. That's residential and outpatient. And we're partnered with West Care of California, with Spirit of Women, with First Steps Home, to bring women to our program that honestly want to make a difference in their lives and to give them a second chance. So those are some of my partners, along with, of course, Instituted Technology and, of course, the diocese's help as well.
I can't wait for people to see and hear from our 5 wonderful, wonderful, I guess you'd call them your A students, your A+ students.
They all are, yeah.
Before we hear from Katy, did you want to tell us anything about her before we meet her?
I'd like to say that I met Katy, when she first came into the program, and she was quite reserved, all in all. It's hard to tell at what point, these women are in their growth and their development, but I felt that Katy had a real leadership skill to her, and so sort of took her under my wing, and she took me under her wing, and we developed a relationship which has turned out very fabulous for Katy's life now.
Well, Joe Maiden has put together 5 wonderful clips. Let's hear from Katy.
I'm a mother of 3. I had 10 years clean, and I relapsed 5 years ago with methamphetamine. I ended up getting involved with the wrong people and started doing fraud, and got 3 felony convictions. I lost my house, my kids, everything that I ever earned. I lost my marriage, and I've got my kids back. I've been in this program for about 3 months now, so I've got my kids back, my family back. My trust back. I've been clean 15 months and just working to try to do something positive with this program. They do nothing but boost us up, lift us up. Like I said, we have given opportunities to go back to school. We're given opportunities to get into other work fields, to start doing the marketing. So just the opportunity, the chance that they give us is just amazing. And they're all very inspirational to work with. To be given a second chance in life is an amazing thing. You can't take it for granted. So I'm very grateful to be a part of this program. Very grateful.
Tell us about Katy before we meet Crystal. So about Katy, what more can you tell us?
Well, kind of moving forward now, I can tell you where Katy's at in life. I'm so proud of her. She's actually managing a restaurant, been promoted to a manager at a restaurant. She's gotten married. She's taken Christ into her life. She's blended 2 families together. She purchased a home and a vehicle, and it's kind of like a fairy tale that she could achieve all of this just with a little hope and a little faith and a little prayer. Yeah. And
your program, you've done so well by these women, and it's just exciting to share this with our community. I'm so glad that you are here today, Sandra.
Thank you.
We're going to hear Crystal. Tell us a little bit before she speaks.
Crystal was quite a special young lady when she came in our program, because she had some other issues going on then, and dealing with a lot of trauma in her life. So she was very, very cautious and quiet when she came in our program. And I really believe that the women all working together helped her to come out and to start talking about her troubles and sharing with the group. And Crystal's doing quite well.
Let's hear from Crystal herself. What a beautiful kitchen. I mean, it's so wonderful what it is that you have as a setting for this ministry of yours. Wow.
I was 9 years old. I come from a broken home. I decided to start using alcohol. Then shortly after that, it led to marijuana, led to other drugs. Then I ended up with the first person I came across. I had my first daughter with him. Things didn't work out. I turned to harder drugs. Then I ended up in jail a couple times, and then from jail I ended up in this rehab that I'm at, West Care. West Care has given me the opportunity to work with Dogs Dig 'Em with Sandra and the St. Francis Homeless Project. And now I feel like I get a new start. Like, I don't have a high school diploma, and they're working with me to get mine. It's given me back a lot of like self-esteem that I had lost. Like, I feel better about myself now. I feel like, because I have some other issues going on with me, but yet Sandra and them still gave me an opportunity to be here, equal to the rest of the females that are here with us. And it makes me feel good, like my anxiety, things like that, all come into play, but it works out here. Like, all the women are real comforting. Sandra's been a blessing in my life. With my tattoos, I'm also able to be employed.
Not that I've eaten any, but I heard they're awesome. And our dog, Max likes them. And Katy, our Katy, came home from an event she was at with other young ladies, and sure enough, came home with something that restaurant also was selling. So anyways, about the product, tell us something about the women. What more can you tell us about Crystal?
Crystal, kind of moving forward with, she had to move to Porterville, and that's where her family is from. But Crystal is back together with her family and did get her GED and is doing quite well as a family unit down there. So she's doing good. Unfortunately, we don't get to see her as much, but the good thing about it, St. Francis has created its own community where the women that have recovered and are in recovery all take care of each other, and they all contact each other, and they don't hear from somebody for a few days. The telephone's picked up, and everybody's doing quite well working together, even after graduation.
Now, are all of the women or some of them veterans? Because I thought the time we visited, we met some vets.
Yes, through the West Care program, they have several divisions to West Care, but they do have an organization called Homefront, and that is for our veterans and recovery for them. So yes, some of the women in our program have been veterans. Currently, in the group that we have now, we have no veterans, but we have had veterans in the program that have graduated.
We're going to hear from Cynthia. Before we do, a little heads up. Tell us something about Cynthia.
Well, let's see. Cynthia came to our program, but I can remember her walking across a parking lot to leave the program because she just didn't want to make any commitments, and she was from the Los Angeles area. And I physically watched her turn around and come back and say, "Sandra, I'm going to do this program with you." So we are very glad at the outcome of what's happened with Cynthia, which I can share with you later, but we
want to hear from her.
I do want to hear from her.
Let's hear from Cynthia.
For about a year, I've been really trying to like figure out what it is that I have been wanting, because I know I was lost and I had lost myself so much. I mean, I couldn't even make a decision whether or not to go left or right. Literally. God is a good God. He gave me a big time out without it being behind bars, which was nice. I didn't like that time when I was behind bars, but I just used that opportunity to really just stop and focus on myself, and I'm really, really grateful and blessed to have been placed outside of my town, because I feel like that has helped me a lot, because I haven't had any of the normal distractions of trying to get sober and get right while you're going out and you have all those physical reminders. But it's been good, because I've been just able to really do me. And then doing this program, I got hooked up with Sandra. I think it was like the week before I got out of West Care, and it was the week before they hired on people. It happened to be my first time volunteering, and she was saying about the program. I was like, first I was hesitant, because she was saying 6-month commitment, and like my initial reaction was like, 6 months, oh my God, I can't do that. I've got to get home. But then, I mean, I thought about it for like a day, and I was like, no, what else am I gonna do? For the next 6 months, if I were to go back home, what would happen? Where would I be? I don't have any sort of opportunity or anything down there. I don't even have a place to stay down there right now. Being up here, able to do this, get, my feet back on the ground, stable footing, and meet good people, and have just good opportunities. And I adore Sandra. This program is so great, and I've been able to do a lot of other things other than just do the dog biscuits with her, because we've done other food shows and then home shows with her other business, and getting out there and networking and meeting people and realizing, I'm a human being and I'm going to use my brain for something good.
Well, that was interesting, Cynthia. What more can you add to what her own testimony was? Wow.
I'm really proud to say that Cynthia has got some training in alcohol rehab, and is actually running for steps, and has gone back to school to learn more about drug counseling, and she's very strong in her faith now, and she's just doing exceptionally well. Oh, and she also serves on our board of directors, because we believe that the board needs to have the face of the community present in our board and the heart and soul of this program.
Well, tell us more about that board then. So who else might be on besides Cynthia? What kind of person?
Actually, one of the women that you're going to see next is also on the board of directors, Sonya. And we have people from the mental health care systems, from the business community. We have people that are very active in recovery programs, know about them, have run recovery programs. So we feel very strongly that our board is put together very nicely to pose itself to help these women. So. And we're going to be increasing our board as well. So
super. We've got 2 more women to visit with. Jessica is next. What might you like to say before Jessica has her minute to share something about herself?
Well, can I say about Jessica? After graduation, Jessica held 2 full-time jobs down at 2 different restaurants, and the nature of our program isn't always has a great outcome, although Jessica did relapse in about 1.5 years ago. And the good thing about that is that Jessica felt from the help of the St. Francis Project that nobody ever turned her back on her when she was in that addiction again, and that it's a reality. But she's back at West Care and back in the St. Francis Project as a volunteer now, and she's doing quite well.
Well, let's hear what she did share when Joe did the interview and the filming of this segment.
Opportunity to come work here at Dogs Diggum with Sandra, and since then it's been amazing. I feel like people want to give people a second chance that want to help themselves, you know, and I feel like she encourages us all the time, and she gives us hope. She makes me believe that like I can do it, I can get a job, and I can go back to school, and I don't need to go back to that life, and that makes me happy because I was miserable, and I just want to start a new life. I want to just be happy. So.
What was so interesting for me is having that conversation with Jessica on the phone, saying, sure, let's share the full story of the struggles we have.
Right.
So tell us a little bit more about Jessica and how it is that the idea of having a third chance, and who knows later for other people, fourth and fifth, that should be on the table too. We don't give up on people. We work with people
Right.
if they want to work.
Right. And women that want to help themselves have a very good chance of recovery as long as they have a program like our program and like other programs that are in that believe in them and help them. And I know that Jessica came back to West Care this time because she believed that people were helping her before. She reached out for the help, and now she's getting the help again. And often, very often, family or partners have a bearing or influence on relapsing. So Jessica has eliminated some negativities in her life that brought her back down, and is moving forward to clean everything back up. And I'm very grateful to have her back in the kitchen and back in our lives, and several of our graduates are very happy to have her back on the ground.
Super. Well, you left Sonya as your featured star at the end, the last one we'll visit with. So before we hear from Sonya, what might you like to say? And then we'll have Sonya speak for herself.
Sonya is a born leader, absolute born leader. And she has the ability to capture people when she speaks, and she's doing such a good job for our project now because we've selected her to be a speaker for we've spoken at the Rotaries and churches and other events, and she is the voice of recovery, and she does a very good job of it, and I'm very proud of her for the situations that she's been in and come out of, that she's so strong in faith and that she's doing a wonderful job for all of us.
The voice of recovery. Let's hear the voice of recovery from Sonya.
I started using drugs when I was 13 years old. It started off with marijuana and drinking, and then I started using meth when I was 15 and been using meth for 24 years. This is the longest I've been clean my whole life. I've been clean for 72 days today, and it's really an eye-opener. It gives me hope. And I went to culinary school here, at this same school here. I know a lot of the chefs here, like that guy who was just here, Jim. Me and him were in the same class, and he's a teacher. You know, it just opened my eyes to see like that there is hope still, no matter what. I'm really grateful for being here, for them giving me an opportunity to change my life. I mean, I changed my own life through God, you know. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for God. I'm blessed and grateful for Sandra, the owner of this place, for the ladies here, and for the program at West Care. They're giving me an opportunity to show my true colors, who I really am. Marijuana is a gateway drug. It really is. I don't think kids should be using it. it's going to lead you to other bad things. And I just started using meth when I was 15. A friend of mine gave it to me because she used it for schooling, because she was going to school to be a teacher. So she would use it to stay up and do her study work and stuff like that. And so I'm not blaming her, you know, I make my own decisions at that age, and I've been using it off and on periodically for 24 years. But I really went full blown this past 6 years. I've been in full blown addiction and my addict in my addiction. When I was coming to culinary school, I didn't use meth. I was clean for a while, but I smoked marijuana. But it's just, I'm just blessed to be here and to talk to you guys and I want to work on H&I panel. I want to drive around the state and talk to inmates and talk to kids who are in gangs and give them hope and give them some kind of, you know, my story will help the other person, will help another person out. I really believe that in my heart. And I believe that God has me here for a reason. I have a purpose in life. Before I didn't know nothing about recovery, nothing until 2012. I didn't know that people were clean. I thought I was gonna die out there like that. That's what I saw with my family, you know, that's all they did. They start Thursday, end up on Sunday, and go to work Monday. So it's just a blessing that I'm here.
We have about a minute, Sandra. Is there any way you wanted to sum up last thought for about a minute?
I just want to give thanks to the diocese and also to the support of the CCHD. And fortunately, we're going to be able to maybe do some fundraising with our parishes here locally and use these dog treats to get out the word and the blessing of this program. And like us on Facebook. Go right now and like us on Facebook. We would really, really, really appreciate that. Any support that you can give us. Thank you. Thank you.
I want to thank you so much for not only preparing this program, but for all the work and love that goes into what you do at the St. Francis Homeless Project. Dogs Dig 'Em is a wonderful product, but what you're doing with the women and what you are trying to share, this love for people, is makes this maybe my favorite looking at social justice. Because social justice needs a happy face. It needs something that isn't just saying we've got to stop war. We have to do good things. We have to go into places and do recovery, do rehab, do wellness, do healing. And this is what you're doing with the women. Thank you for sharing the 5 prime students you have and for all you're doing with the many, many other women you're working with.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sandra. It's been a blessing. God bless.
God bless you too, Jim.